Moving on, Parvinder Singh has called in from Delhi. Parvinder, what's your question? How can we help you?
Actually, my query is what private builders are doing. They are constructing unauthorized buildings, floor second or third or fourth, right?
Okay.
At the time of property purchase, purchaser is not aware about the unauthorized constructions. So, how he can come to know that this is unauthorized or authorized property?
Okay.
Right.
So
My
essentially,
query is
you're
how he
saying
can-
that after buying, you've realized that that particular
at the time
property is unauthorized.
At the time of deal, sometimes they are committing some false commitments. Okay, this is authorized property. We arrange the completion from the concerned authorities or other things. So, how in fact he can come to know that this is authorized or not?
Okay, this is also very interesting, and this is essentially why we keep asking buyers to check for certain permissions for approvals before they sign on the dotted line. Here, the particular permission that you should be looking for is a CC, right, Anshuman?
Correct. The commencement certificate, which permits the number of floors which are to be constructed on the property. So generally, also the plans, because the plans will give you a bird's eye view of how much construction is permitted on the property, and construction usually comes in the phase manner. So first there would be a plan, and definitely the second is the CC of the property, which permits construction to be initiated so far as that particular floor is concerned.
But you know, coming back to the question that Parvinder has, a lot of times when you go to developers, when you're buying an under construction property, what you're told is partial CC, the project has got partial CC, and we are expecting to get complete
Further
CC
CCs.
in the next couple of months.
Correct.
What does that essentially mean, and is this something that should essentially raise a red flag in the buyer's mind, especially if you're buying something on the upper floors?
See, this used to be a major concern previously, where, as you rightly stated, representations used to be made that the CC will come over a period of time. Buyers were never aware as to how many floors in fact were to be constructed. Brochures used to be printed, so assuming that it was correct representation, people used to get trapped into the builder's representation. However, now it is expected that the plans for the whole building are put up and duly sanctioned. So at least you would come to know as to the number of floors that are finally being permitted by the competent authority, and only the construction permission is likely to come in a phased manner. So this is one of the safeguards that the government has introduced. But as I again said, if RERA kicks in, it has specifically provided that the plans will have to be put up and sale can be effected only upon those permissions being in place. So that can definitely help. So pending that today, definitely the fact that if there is a CC, it will help us to
Anshuman, like you just said, pending that, there is time for RERA to actually kick in. There is time for us to actually get a full disclosure from developers before buying a home. But till then, assuming that you do not want to take whatever the developer is telling you at face value, which you should not be doing, you should be doing your own due diligence. How can a buyer who is a layperson actually get his or her hands on the permissions or the approvals that a project has got?
See,
how do you check that?
We've been advising of lately right to information. So in case he doesn't really want to approach professionals like architects and advocates, at least a basic study that he can do is by obtaining documents under RTI if the developer is not ready to share the documents. So assuming that the documents are furnished to him under RTI and he's in possession of them, I'm sure he can basically understand as to what is the overall outlay of this whole project. And of course, if he is not comfortable, he can approach for professional help, which will help him to give a better clarity on the whole project.
So Parvinder, essentially this is what you need to do before buying a home. You need to get that plan. Ideally, you consult an architect or an advocate, get the agreement checked, get the plan checked. If you do not want to do that, you can apply. You can, in fact, through an RTI application, try and check on the permissions that the developer has got. Essentially, what you need to see is whether the floor on which you're buying the home, whether or not that has got a commencement certificate. The CC is essentially what you need to be asking your developer to show you.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.